Hey guys, what's up? And welcome back to another video on Film Slim. The wildly successful reality television show Pawn Stars shows us the everyday businesses of the famous gold and silver pawn shop. Many people come through the doors with different interesting items to pawn or sell. The values of these items depend upon many factors. However, Pawn Stars have made some eyebrow-raising deals by manipulating customers that may have ended up causing them to lose big bucks. Number 5. Underpaying for a Yasutsugu Century Samurai Sword. One of the best examples of the stars buying an item for way less money than they should be buying it for. Kore made a deal on a samurai sword from the 15th century that could easily be sold for around 10 grand. Before the negotiation even began, Kore in a backroom confession said that he'd seen swords like these sell for thousands of dollars, which is why offering the seller $800 was obviously pretty dodgy. The buyer and the seller agreed on a measly $1,500. An expert later put the value of the sword in its current condition to be around $5,000 to $6,000. If it went through a restoration costing $3,000, as much as $15,000 could be fetched for it. Talk about an underpayment. Number 4. The Yankees signed 1951 baseball. A seller who was lucky enough to possess a baseball signed by the 1951 New York Yankees once visited the famous pawn shop. In the hopes of getting some serious bucks, he came through the doors with his exceptional possession, only to find himself being offered no more than a pathetic $800. The seller's initial asking price was $3,000, to which the old man responded that he would only be a buyer who would take it for $800. Fortunately, the seller declined and went on his way since the actual worth of such an item is about $6,000. The seller's appearance on the show allowed him to find a way better buyer offering the right amount of money that such a rare ball would actually deserve.
I'm gonna shoot you a price. If you don't like it, don't hit me, but I'd be a buyer at about $800.
Number 3. The Hotchkiss Cannon. Chuck, a collector of field artillery, came into the parking lot of the pawn shop with his 1890 Hotchkiss Cannon looking for a good deal. The situation was looking good for Chuck after Rick asked his buddy how much he should pay for it and make profit, to which the expert replied that $40,000 would be just fine. Chuck was pleased, and of course when deals go up to more than 4 figures, it can become tempting to immediately take the first offer made. The Hotchkiss Cannon was sold for a whopping $30,000. The seller may still most likely be regretting his decision of not negotiating until the end. Even though a deal is a deal, the sale price for such a fascinating item could have been much more.
I would say $40,000 all day long.
Number 2. A book from the library of Isaac Newton. A guy once came to the guys thinking that the book he had was from the library of one of the integral godfathers of science, Isaac Newton. Anything owned by such an individual is practically priceless. As usual, the shop called an expert to examine the authenticity of the book. The expert put the value of the book to $20,000. Obviously, the seller was pleased until the old man gave an absurdly low price for the book, and the two negotiated until they decided on $7,000. And the seller amazingly accepted such an insulting offer. To put the cherry on top, most of Newton's collection has either been destroyed or archived at Trinity College, Cambridge in England, which would make such an item worthy to be in anyone's collection.
I have a 1652 copy of Elias Ashmole's Theatrum Chemicum Britannicum. In it is the secret to creating the Philosopher's Stone.
Hey, hold up! Before we move to number 1, do us a favor and click that big red subscribe button. And oh, don't forget to hit the bell icon so that you don't miss out on any of our videos. Alright, let's move on to the finale. Number 1. 1890s Colt 45 Pacemaker Revolver. Rick bought an 1890s Colt 45 revolver which he said would sell better than any antique gun in his collection. Rick's excitement was visible when after the seller of the gun revealed that he bought the gun for no more than $25. He agreed on a price of $3,000 despite it being greatly low compared to its actual value. The seller must have felt sick to his stomach after finding out that guns like the one he sold are manufactured for around $42,000. These were some of the many times the stars of Pawn Stars have used their manipulation tactics to convince a seller to sell his prized possession for less cash than it should be sold for. If you plan on visiting the gold and silver pawn shop, be careful before you decide to strike a deal. This brings us to the end of our video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, then let us know by liking the video. Stick around for more amazing content, as we will be soon seeing you in another video. Until then, take care and goodbye.